Hello, Oracles. My goodness, Tesla just keeps on climbing. Now we've got Elon who is over in China. We've got some rumors coming out about Project Highland coming out, potentially being announced next week. So we're going to get into all of that, and we're going to dive into a conversation that I overheard in the locker room at the gym this morning having to do with EVs. So we'll get into all of that in just a minute. All right, so looking at the charts here, again, closing at 207.52, up another 1.75%. So this level here is right around that 207 to 208 level that we have been bouncing off of. So this is one of those resistance levels that we have seen. So we see down here, we kind of bounced right around that $200 level, psychological level. We knew that was going to happen. And now here we are at this 208 level doing the same thing. So from here, if we cross this, 214 to 220 was the last place we stopped on the way up. The next big resistance on the way up past that is 228. So we'll see how we go from here. Now, RSI, we are into this overbought range. Again, if we follow this trend, like we've been talking about, oversold, overbought, go back further, overbought, you go back before that, oversold. We've just been swinging up and down between overbought and oversold. Is this going to happen again? We're just going to have to wait and see, but this trend has been going forward. Volume has been around 150 million shares trading hands, so a little bit higher than we have been over the last couple of months, but, you know, it's not super high volume like we had seen at the beginning of the year. Now, I did have a friend share a chart with me over on Twitter, and I can't put it on here because it's something that is very expensive to get these charts, which I think drives me crazy because in order to get this very valuable information, you need to have money to get that valuable information, and it just helps you get more money. But one of the questions I have is, we've seen the stock been going up. Has there been high volume? Who is buying? Has it been retail investors? Has it been institutions? Seems like over the last month or so, there have been significant institutional buyers coming in to the stock, pushing us higher. So when we're looking at that and the question of, is this bottom going to fall out? When there's institutional buyers coming in, chances are it's not. So as my dad asked me today, where do I think the pullback will come to? Naturally, everything pulls back. It doesn't matter how much you're running. It's just natural and healthy for a stock to cool off and pull back. Doesn't matter what company it is. So pulling back, we do still have that gap at 146. We did create another gap the other day at 193. So we have that gap at 193. We have the gap at 146. Still do think that gap at 146 is going to fill. And then I think as we get into further this year, potential recession, yes, I know it doesn't seem like that could happen right now with the market the way it's been moving. We've seen this happen before. Don't be very short-sighted. Look back just 2 years ago and we saw that massive run and then the huge crash in 2022. It happens. Just make sure that you're aware of the fact that it can happen. Not saying it is, but it could. So with that on my radar, realizing that potential, I think 146 will be the bottom if we do end up pulling down again. If things do get bad, we could be filling that gap at 114. I still think that's possible. So that's just where I'm looking at it right now. But this run that's going on, this is that opportunity I was talking about previously, especially with my other positions. As we're running up, if I can take some profits or put some stop losses in, I don't know how long this is going to last. There's a lot of stocks right now that are very overbought. A lot of the AI stocks kind of seems like we're in a bit of an AI bubble, very similar to the EV bubble that we were in previously. A lot of future potential that is getting priced into all of this without that reality of the earnings coming in to reflect what we are seeing in the stock prices yet. Not to say it's not going to happen. Just like with Tesla, we saw Tesla running up to massive prices previously, over $1,200, and then we saw that massive pullback. I do fully believe that we are going to cross that level at $1,200, even with the split, and then go beyond that. I definitely think that is going to happen. However, it's going to take some time, and we needed to cool off and kind of let reality of the moment set in before we could go back there. I think the same is going to end up happening with these AI stocks. I think they're going to be great. I think NVIDIA, AMD, Google, even Meta is going to be doing well, I think, with this AI stuff. There's a lot of companies out there. Palantir. So with Palantir, I've been taking a little bit off the table. They're extremely overbought. I pulled a little bit of my money out of that to put it into cash. I do think Palantir will pull back down under $10. So selling here at $14 to $15 means that I could take that money and turn it over even more as we get that pullback. Again, don't know when that's going to happen, but I just want to be patient. And speaking of being patient, I just had my rent go up on me by 15%. So I understand why it's happening. Taxes in town went up, expenses going up. My landlord is really good. I have nothing bad to say about him. So I don't think he's doing this for any sort of greed purposes whatsoever. However, realizing that just now more money coming out of my pocket that I cannot invest, the housing market is still not where I want it to be able to buy a house. I've opened up my windows here to take a look at single family houses instead of just the multifamily houses. Opening up my opportunities, maybe I'll find something out there that's actually worth buying right now that I can invest my money into and get some actual equity out of it instead of putting all of that money into rent and somebody else's equity. So I'm just I've got a lot of options. Maybe I buy a van and live in that, like I've been talking about. Lots of different options that I have going on, but still want to be patient. I don't want to rush into anything because I do still think we have that bigger pullback coming. I think it's going to happen in the housing market. I think it's going to happen in the stock market. And I just want to be ready. I don't want to let this FOMO, the fear of missing out, take over my emotions right now and make me go in and try to buy all of these stocks when I do realistically think we're going to get that pullback. And I realistically think that Tesla is going to follow along with all of that as well. A lot of these stocks are very beaten down, so rebounding like this is going to get some people, swing traders especially, in this near term, some very nice profits. So if you guys are out there doing that, have at it. Go for it. Like I said, I'm doing it myself. My dad's making some good money. The way the market's been moving over the last few months, it's almost like you can't lose. Very similar to what we saw when we were coming out of COVID and the Fed dropped the interest rates to zero. It's almost like you couldn't lose. As long as you put your money in there and made some profits, you were going to make some profits. If you put your money into something else, you were probably going to make some profits. You're going to win most likely either way. But we are not in that same environment that we were 2 years ago. This environment is still very uncertain. So I'm trying to be cautious with where I'm going to put my money because I don't want to dump things in right now and then have the bottom get pulled out from underneath us. So that's just my cautionary tale, my conservative side view of things. So just putting that out there, you guys need to do your own due diligence, your own research, and do what's best for your own portfolio and your risk tolerance. All right, so moving over to Tesla's news, as they're tweeting out, breaking, Tesla to unveil the Model 3 Highland in China. Prepare to feast your eyes on the latest automotive sensation. In a move that's sure to set the hearts of car enthusiasts racing, Tesla is set to unveil a sneak peek of the eagerly anticipated facelifted Model 3 Highland in Shanghai. This exciting news comes hot on the heels of Elon Musk's visit to China this week, as reported by Bloomberg's insider sources. Now, we know that Bloomberg doesn't always have the best sources for things, but we've been hearing enough rumors about Project Highland and then Elon being over in China for the first time in a few years. Kind of putting the pieces together, I think there is some validity to this. According to these knowledgeable informants, the first cars to roll off the production line at the prestigious Shanghai Gigafactory are nothing short of breathtaking prototypes of the revamped Model 3, which boasts a slightly longer and sportier frame than its predecessor, along with a sleeker, more refined interior design that is sure to turn heads. Get ready to experience the future of automotive excellence. And if the picture here is anything close to what it's going to look like, we're kind of looking at more of a futuristic type Model S/3 body style. So again, if we're going to get the sneak peeks of it next week, that's awesome. We'll see exactly what it's going to look like. But as far as I'm concerned, we've been talking about this since the beginning of the year. We heard these rumors coming out. Getting the specs behind it would be awesome as well. Sure, it looks cooler. It looks, the updated design and everything is nice. But what are the specs? Is it going to have a better battery? Is it going to have more mileage? Is it going to have better range? Is it going to charge faster? Chances are it's going to most likely have hardware 4 in it as well. So major upgrades coming. Maybe we get news about, hey, is it going to be coming out of Austin or Fremont as well? We did hear about the fact that, Tom Jew was back over there in Fremont at the end of last year and beginning of this year, discussing some things. So maybe they were laying the groundwork for that as well, coming out of Fremont. Lots of different things to discuss and find out in the future. But seeing Project Highland now actually coming to fruition, this is the next iteration. So we've got Project Highland, then we've got Cybertruck coming out later this year. Then we're going to be hearing about the next generation platform. So lots of great news and stuff coming out for Tesla. So again, the stock price moving is awesome. Hitting these levels at 208, is this news going to be enough to push us past that? Again, we are in overbought territory, so there could be a lot of sell the news situation stuff coming out for a lot of different companies. This could be one of them. Maybe we actually get the news coming out for Project Highland and we get to sell the news, and that's when we end up getting that cool off, bringing us back down under overbought. And now, of course, for me, I'm still buying the stock every single day. As a matter of fact, I should be hitting 69 shares as of tomorrow. I'll keep you guys posted. It's either going to be tomorrow or Monday, depending on where the stock price is at and the money I put in. So might be Monday. But either way, starting next week, I will be at 69 shares of Tesla. So very excited about that. Still continuing to move up. Now, one thing that I am looking at with everything going on, especially with my rent going up, is seeing these opportunities still coming out there. Seeing as this could be an opportunity to take some profits, take some stuff off of the table for companies and stocks that I don't necessarily want to have as much money in. I want to have more money on the sidelines for companies like Tesla. This is my opportunity to do that. So I also want to take a look at all of the other expenses that I have in my life. So I've been looking across the board, all the different things that I could cut expenses for. I need to make up the difference for the rent that's just gone up. So I need to compensate for that. Plus, I want to be able to free up even more money. For those of you guys who follow me over on Patreon or who are members here on this channel, you guys know full well that I have been sharing my weekly stats with you guys when it comes to my expenses, my income, my millionaire status, which I am an 8th millionaire, 1/8 millionaire. I'm very excited about that, considering 6 years ago, I was $75,000 in debt. I have had a few requests to ask how it was that I got from where I was then to where I am now. I will be making an updated video on that. 2 years ago when I started this channel, that was one of the first videos that I had made. Very old, very rough, still very relevant if you guys want to check it out, but I will actually be updating that and do a whole brand new one for you guys as well. Just need to free up some time and be able to make that happen. I want to do it in much better quality, so I'll get that updated for you guys to share, but seeing that mentality, I want to make sure I have my expenses low. Now, I also have some things going on in my life. I want to get out and enjoy things. The last 2 years, COVID, didn't get out and do much. I want to go out and hike more. You know, you guys love my hiking videos. So, my next goal is to hike the 48 4,000 footers in New Hampshire. I was going to go there this weekend. The weather was supposed to be questionable, supposed to be nice now. I want to get caught up on some channel stuff here and some other adulting that I've got going on. But what I'm going to end up doing, and I can help share this with you guys, is how can I enjoy my life doing the things that I want to do, but keep the expenses extremely low so that I can invest more money into these companies that will make me more money so that later on down the road, I can enjoy life even more. Kind of really want to put all of this together and share my experiences with you guys. I know some of you have already done stuff like this, and I want to show you what I've done from my experience, and maybe it'll help inspire others of you out there or give you some education on to what you can do to be able to both live your life and be able to invest so that you can grow your wealth in the future as well. So I'm going to get on top of that. I'll share those pieces of information with you guys in different areas. I do have 3 channels now for YouTube. I've got this channel, I've got Oracle Health and Fitness, and I've got an Oracle Dad's Joke channel as well. If you guys enjoy any of that, go ahead. I've got all the links in the description if you want to check those channels out. But it's just kind of showing you guys, how I'm enjoying my life and able to invest and grow my wealth, and just kind of to inspire and motivate others to do the same also. And now, of course, when Tesla comes out with their van, I will absolutely be buying that van, and I will be touring all over the country, all over North America, visiting as many of you as I possibly can, and being able to do all of this from the road. So looking at all of this news going on, Elon's over in China, lots of great news going on. We also have some other rumors that I'm not going to dive into right now, that there's another factory that's coming up over in China that people aren't really even talking about right now that's going on. Again, that's very, very much a rumor. Nothing confirmed on any of that whatsoever, but just hearing some of these things that are swirling around out there, and I wanted to share those with you guys. But yeah, man, goodness gracious, so much exciting stuff going on. The stock moving up and now finally reflecting some of this great news. Hopefully this does end up continuing. Again, that 208 level, if we can close above 208 tomorrow, that is a great sign. If we do not close above it, we then just have to wait until Monday and see how the market and stock reacts. Now, we did hear about the debt ceiling got raised, so I believe we are good, and correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the debt ceiling being raised till 2025 is now in the clear. So 2025 is the time frame that we have for that, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. The Fed came out and they're issuing a whole bunch of T-bills. So because of the fact that they're doing that, they can still run off their balance sheet. That is the concern I have that is going to pull the market down, is just less money velocity going on typically pulls the market down. So with the Fed still running off their balance sheet, which they still will be doing, we could be seeing that later this year. Either way, just the things that I have kind of swirling around in the back of my head that I wanted to share with you guys. Very exciting stuff going on. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about Project Highland, what you think they're going to have in there that we did not discuss. And before I forget, that conversation I overheard in the locker room this morning at the gym, there was a couple of guys, and I'm friends with them over in the gym, and they're discussing vehicles for whatever reason. I think one of them has a daughter who just turned 16, and he's got a vehicle for her. And one of them was like, yeah, nobody wants to buy electric cars. Keep that GMC truck of yours. It's going to be worth gold in the future. I mean, I was around the corner overhearing this conversation. I was just like, are you kidding me, guys? Like, this is like, clearly there's a lot of misinformation that's out there. Or again, going back to Tesla potentially advertising something like that, that could kind of bring people to the realization of what's truly going on. There are a lot of people out there who just don't see what is happening. Those of us in the Teslaverse, we know. People who follow electric vehicles, they know. But people who don't, on the outside, they're hearing different things. People who are just, hey, I love my gas guzzler, EVs are bad. That stuff is still out there. So this is going on. This is the conversation I heard. You guys can share in the comments below if there's any conversations like that that you have heard from other people as well. Otherwise, I will see you guys all later. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. Have a great one.